What's good, y'all? Shagar Makai. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And today we're going to be talking about the Sacramento Kings. And the Sacramento Kings, I was watching them last night. Last night they played the Toronto Raptors, and I'm watching them play. And they went down big very early. It was 11-0. They made a run. They came back. And then as the game went on, it was kind of it was close. But then once the Toronto Raptors went up by like 20-25, the game was just really out of reach. De'Aaron Fox had a pretty good game, but outside of that, everybody else was just, kind of trash. And it just made me think about the Sacramento Kings as a whole. Like, my entire life as an NBA basketball fan, there hasn't been a period where the Sacramento Kings have made the playoffs. There hasn't been a period where they looked like they were going to make the playoffs. There hasn't been a period where they looked, exciting at all. And, I'm not gonna cap, I don't watch every Sacramento Kings game, obviously. I'm not a fan, I'm not a big fan of any of their players. But as an NBA team, when you have the longest playoff drought in the NBA, because the Minnesota Timberwolves broke their drought a couple years ago. So the Sacramento Kings are the longest playoff drought, in the NBA. And then when you look at their roster, it's like, do you really see a core of young guys that they can build the future on? Because I'm looking at the roster and I don't really see it. I'm struggling to see it with the Sacramento Kings. Because Sacramento, outside of De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton, I don't really see a big, big name, big time, player for them. And even though De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton are good players, I don't see them reaching like a super high level. Like, I don't see them reaching like, a top 10 player type level. De'Aaron Fox, I think he can be like top, 30-ish, maybe top 32 type. And Tyrese Halliburton, I don't really see him as like an all-star guard, like, cause he's a great passer, great passer. He's, he showed flashes on defense. He does, a lot of good stuff on that end. But really, his offense, he's kind of slow. His handle's kind of really, what is it called? He doesn't have the strongest handle. He doesn't have the best burst off the dribble to get into the rim. He's kind of, hesitant to score the ball at times. The jump shot looks really good, but when it comes to creating for himself, Tyrese Halliburton hasn't shown me a lot for me to be like, all right, I can see the blueprint for him. But, they have other guys. They have Richaun Holmes, who's not so young, but I like Richaun Holmes. Richaun Holmes is a really good guy. They signed him for like $13 million, which is a steal. So, you would think they would try to, capitalize on what they're doing right now, but they're not. But, when you think about the Sacramento Kings, you just think mediocrity. You think they're trash. You think, they're not going nowhere. But then, when you ask yourself why are the Sacramento Kings like this? Why have they not been able to finally figure it out, make a playoff run, have a young core of guys you can be excited about? And then you look at the draft the last couple of years, and we're going to go, we'll go back to 2015. 2015, round 1, pick 6, they take Willie Cauley-Stein. Willie Cauley-Stein, I think, is a, end of bench, low rotation big right now. I think he plays in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. You wasted 6 picks on that. All right, you cut your losses. The year before that, they picked Nick Stauskas. Nick Stauskas is not a good player at all. Is he even in the league? Like, I don't even know. 2013, round 1, pick 7, they take Ben McLemore. You see the trend here. Guys who should be, like veterans right now, and guys who should be like, leaders of the team right now, they went to other teams. They never turned out to be stars. But even then, if we keep going with the draft stuff, if you follow me here, in 2016, round 1, pick 8, they take Marquise Chris. Marquise Chris, he didn't turn out to be anybody. He didn't turn out to be anything in Sacramento. He went to Phoenix, he went to Cleveland, but Marquise Chris never really quite figured it out in the NBA, And, the next year, round 1, pick 5, they picked De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is a good player. De'Aaron Fox, one of the best transition guys in the league. He's very, very fast with the ball. He can obviously get to the rim at one of the highest rates in the entire NBA, I think. Last year, he led the league in, getting to the rim. And that's not quite how you say it, but De'Aaron Fox is one of the best drivers in the NBA because he's really fast off the dribble. He has a very, very tight handle that he's improved over the years. The next step you want to see him make is obviously to be a better defensive guard and obviously to, increase his shooting percentages. But he had a couple times last night where I'm like, all right, he's getting to the rim, a lot of tough finishes. So you can see why De'Aaron Fox is part of the core. You can see why De'Aaron Fox is good. But with a lot of other guys, I can't see them being, being able to contribute to the team's future because they're not showing me a lot in the time that they've been in the league. But, the real heartbreaker, 2018, the big draft. 2018, Aiden's in there, Bagley, Trae Young. How can I forget Luka Doncic? A lot of guys like that. So you hope that, with all this talent in the draft, the Sacramento Kings can pick somebody who they can say, this is our guy. This is the guy that we trust to take us into the future. This is the guy we trust to build the franchise around. And this is the guy who's going to be the co-star to De'Aaron Fox. This was the year that you get somebody to, be next to De'Aaron Fox and have them run the show for the next decade or so. But they picked Marvin Bagley. And, I'm not one to, kind of be a 2020 hindsight guy. Like, hindsight is 2020. Obviously, now looking back, you wish they picked Luka. But at the time, really, they should have picked Luka. But at the time, Marvin Bagley was a big-time college prospect. He did great things at Duke. He was really athletic, real dominant in the paint. He had speed, mobility, athleticism. He was the full package as a power forward. But it just didn't work out. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. Obviously, coach, a lot of the issues revolve around coach and Luke Walton. People tell me that they weren't using him right. And Luke Walton, he's not a good coach at all. He doesn't really run anything special offensively. He doesn't, run anything special defensively. And, anywhere he's gone, he really, besides Golden State, and Golden State, obviously they're going to win games, they're Golden State, but anywhere Luke Walton has gone, it hasn't really worked out. Even with, the Lakers, it didn't really work out. So when he went to the Kings, I didn't expect, much, but it went as bad as possible. But yeah, man, Marvin Bagley didn't really turn out to be much. Next year, they didn't have a first-round pick. I don't know why. And, 2020, they take Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton has a really good rookie year. He's in the running for, he has a really good rookie year. He's in the running for Rookie of the Year. He lost to LaMelo Ball, obviously, because Melo was amazing. But Tyrese Halliburton, like I said earlier, he has his flaws. Yes, I think he does well. I can see Tyrese Halliburton being a contributor, on a good NBA team. But I just don't see him being anybody's co-star. So right now, if you're following me, all the Sacramento Kings have as far as young pieces, as far as guys who can be there in like 5-6 years. Because Buddy Hield, he's pretty good. He's a really good 3-point shooter, a lot of volume, but he's kind of on the older end. I think he's like, 27? Might be turning 28 soon because he was a 4-year college guy. So yeah, De'Aaron Fox is the only guy that I can see being a star right now on the Sacramento Kings team. And even now, I don't think he's going to be like a big-time star. But, Tyrese Halliburton, he's cool. And then this year, they had pick 9. I don't kill teams for, when it's not a top 5 pick, you kind of just hope you can pick, a good guy. I don't expect non-top 5 picks to be, super crazy. Because top 5 is really where because every draft can't be all-time, like 2018, like 2003. Like, every draft can't have, a boatload of talent, all over the place. But they picked Davion Mitchell. Davion Mitchell, specializes in defense. There's a lot of film out there if you want to go watch it. Davion Mitchell's really laid on his feet. He's really, stocky to be, small and 6'1", and he's just a really good on-ball defender. Off-ball, I can't really speak to a lot because I don't watch enough Sacramento Kings games to, be an expert on him, but I've watched enough Davion, film, and I've seen enough to say that I like his upside on defense. I like what he can be in the future on defense. So Davion Mitchell is probably going to be a guy you look out for. But then when you look at the kind of the trend of the last couple of years, De'Aaron Fox, then Tyrese Halliburton, and then and then Davion Mitchell, they're drafting a lot of guards. So now they're missing their future big man who was supposed to be Marvin Bagley, but it works out. That's how the cookie crumbles. And then you look at the team this year. I didn't expect a lot from the team this year. They re-signed Rashawn. They didn't trade Harrison Barnes. So I think, maybe they want to win some games. Because the team on paper, they're not like a lock for playoffs, but you think they could be competitive. Like, they have, De'Aaron, they got, Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, Rashawn Holmes. Terrence Davis isn't playing, kind of well. They've just had a lot of guys who you would think can contribute to winning a little bit. Not like, top 5 seed, but I'm saying like maybe contention for like the 10th seed, like playing spot, like something that can have Kings fans to be a little encouraged. But this year, they are 11-17 after 28 games. They get, they've been getting blown out, and there's just really not a lot of positive. And I'm saying all this to say, yeah, it's on the GMs because you hope that they can pick better guys, but when it's like this for, a bunch of years, it's been like this for decades now. It's been decades since the Sacramento Kings were good. It's literally been like 20 years since the last time, I think since Webber was there and they went to the playoffs and they had the big scandal and big series with the Lakers. It's been 20 years since then. When you look at the owner, when you look at ownership, because now we have a pattern now. It's been 20 years, no star ever wants to stay there. DeMarcus Cousins didn't work out, they shipped him off. And they haven't been able to, attract the star, obviously, because they're the Kings. And they haven't been able to draft somebody who can, be the super duper franchise superstar. So you look at ownership. Ownership, I think, is the cause of all this. And obviously, it goes on the players, on coaching and all that. But I feel like if you take a look at ownership, what kind of, system they want to bring in, what kind of, employees they hire, what kind of person that the owner is that, is inspiring all this losing in Sacramento. And it's just a really bad situation in Sacramento. I don't see it with this core. Because now, I think you probably have to trade De'Aaron Fox, not because he's bad, but because you just want to kind of reset. Because this team might be bad, but it's not like worst team in the league bad. Obviously, that goes to other teams, but they are rebuilding. And I don't see the foundational pieces for the rebuild. Like, even like OKC gets a lot of flack with me, oh, they tank, oh, they're shameless, oh, they're bad. But with OKC, at least you can like see, oh, Shea's gonna be good. Lou Dort has, shown a lot of good stuff. Josh Giddey has shown a lot of great stuff, passing the ball, scoring the ball. Now you can see things with this team, outside of De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton to a fault, because this year has been as good as last year. But outside of those two, do you really see anybody on this Kings team that you say, oh, I'm excited to see their future. I'm excited to see what the future holds. Except maybe Davion, but, I don't know. But yeah, man, what the Kings have to do is probably trade, De'Aaron. They probably have to move on from this core. So trade De'Aaron, try and get, something back. I know somebody's going to want, De'Aaron. What is he, like 20, maybe 22 years old? So you just hope that, they can come out of this. But the Sacramento Kings are kind of a sad team. I don't really like watching them that much, but I kind of do because I like basketball. But yeah, let me know what you think about the Kings in the comment section down below. And if you stayed to this video, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.